It's tea time. Buckle your seatbelts. Strap in with your seatbelts.
We're auditioning for Delta. We want to get that sponsorship so we can do like their entry video where they're like,
"Hi,
yeah,
buckle your seatbelt. Here's how seatbelt works. Have you ever used one in your whole life? No?
Yeah.
Well, let me teach you every time."
I just flew into the Korean Airlines and they have like these K-pop stars. So I'll show you the competition.
Nice.
We gotta beat. Compete
Yeah,
with.
that's important.
I think we're fucked. Anyways.
We're drinking tea on this show.
Yeah. This tray comes from Friso Furniture from Arthur. So just wanted to make that correct and shout him out. So thank you over there. And it is indeed made out of cherry wood. So I was correct about that.
Yeah, thank you. It's tough getting stuff from people in Canada because of the language difference, but we figured it out, and I really appreciate it. So, and it's cool, like I said last episode, it has like a nice bassy resonance. Like if you want to be playing an instrument while drinking tea, you could be doing that. Very ASMR. Okay, what are we drinking?
If we know what that means.
Yeah. I have no idea what that stands for, actually.
Yeah, what the actual acronym, yeah.
Audio...
Sensory movement... Reactionaries. It's definitely not that.
Yeah. Take that.
I think we may have got two of those words correct. So this is a Wuyi Oolong. I actually picked this up on my trip to Singapore. So This is from a shop called EnjoyTea, where it's run by a guy named Michael. So thank you to Michael.
Thanks, Michael.
I sat down for half an hour or so and had some tea. Gotta make sure this is nice and piping hot.
Nice.
So this is some Yancha. It is Huangguanyin, Yellow Goddess. Is the English translation.
There's so much tea leaves in this brewing vessel. I am preparing for liftoff, and it smells really, really fragrant as well. So I'm excited. And some of these Wuyis have this interesting characteristic. They have a very fragrant smell in the cup. For me, oftentimes really different. Definitely in the family of the smells, but much more of a floral thing. So I'm excited to try. See.
Yeah.
And you can go and check out them over at 32 Sago Street if you want to go and see them in Singapore. All you local Singaporean people.
I think that's correct.
Yeah.
I don't know how big our audience is over there, but
huge.
It's like the gerbils in Singapore.
Yeah.
That's like our bases right there. Gerbils of Singapore, I mean, it's like 100%.
Huge pull. Great ad sales, really big. Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So loaded with leaves, so keeping those steep times nice and short. And so we'll just see how this is. This is my first time actually opening this product since getting back. So
cool.
I've only had it in shop, and so we will see how it carries over.
Yeah, incredible. And quite oxidized, really pretty dark. You still see some green, and that will open up as we brew through here.
Leaves relatively small as far as Yancha Wuyi rock tea goes, but we'll see how it is. Nice and twisted.
Oh my god. Okay. Almost getting a mango smell.
Cheerio.
Fuck. It's so crazy how different it tastes. So much, so strong of the rock taste. Oh my god.
It's a little stronger than I thought. I thought the color was a little bit lighter, so I thought this was going to be a little bit on the weaker side, but it's quite strong. Mm-hmm. Really heavy rock taste.
Yeah. It's doesn't taste to me really, really roasted. Really pleasant. I can tell this is going to be strong. Nice sweetness, almost more sweetness than some like often the Wuyis that we bring on the show.
Mm-hmm.
It has this core roasted oolong flavor that I just grew up with. I grew up going to Huangguanyin and getting these boxes of this red box of oolong. Coincidentally, I was in Poland and had found the same thing in a shop. But it just has this it's not in a good way, this restaurant tea flavor. You know what I mean? That just feels so familiar to me.
Yeah, well, it's coming from a red box of Oolong, so there you go.
Yellow Goddess. This is really tasty. I'm expecting if that was the first steeping, that this is going to be very strong.
Yeah, and I kept it as short as possible
Yeah.
for this one, so we will see. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, it's not bitter, but it's like
It's like a little sour.
potent.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little sour, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, not in a ton. Is it tart?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Kind of. Yeah.
It's not very as sweet as you would expect on the initial sort of tasting, but the sweetness comes just a little bit later and just sort of coats the roof of the mouth for me at least.
God, this is like the most intense I've ever had that rock taste. Like if you had to describe what that is, it's like this.
Yeah, this is a good one for getting that rock taste,
Right.
because it's so heavy.
Yeah.
It's like so minerally and rocky.
Yeah. And there's no other way to describe it. Like, I don't know how to... There's not a lot similar to that. Maybe like if you had really heavily mineralized water, you might have like a bit of that experience. Almost a saltiness.
Yeah.
Really, really, really delightful.
Yeah. Well, Danny and I are both members of the Rock Liquors fan club, so I think this is definitely hitting the spot.
Yeah. Yeah, this really has that sort of southwest winter rock feel. Oh boy.
And this really is quite strong, I gotta say.
Mm-hmm. Again, not bitter, but just like potent, kicking your ass continuously after you drink it.
In a way that's not necessarily typical for Oolong.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
I feel like we're more likely to experience that with the Young Poo.
Mm-hmm. Phoenix Oolongs to me have a bit of this intensity, but there's a different flavor profile typically, a more floral and fruity. And this is just a very different, again, it's not roasted, it's not bitter, it's dark, and it's rock taste. You gotta just get in there and try it.
Yeah, this tea really is quite interesting just because it is so different from what you might expect from more of your standard Wuyi vendors. It's interesting. Yeah, it tasted different in the shop too than this.
Got it. Yeah, really enjoyable on the nose too. Almost a hint of a baking spice, cinnamon, sugar cookie kind of the thing. But in the cup, not a lot of that. Yeah. Cheerio.
Cheers.
Potent.
Still got that rock.
Yeah. This to me is like a Wuyi lovers Wuyi. Like just if you want in spades to be drinking this, this profile, this is it. Yeah, I think if you were so on this flavor profile, this would be a very bad decision.
So do you think like more of a tea nerd's tea than like a super friendly for everyone tea?
Maybe, but here's the thing: is that it's not that it's really strong and potent. You could maybe use less leaf and get a little bit of a lighter brew. I don't think that the flavors themselves are necessarily abrasive. It's more polarizing in the flavors themselves. They're just, everyone's going to like kind of like a sweet floral thing, or like a lot more people will. This just has a different character. The actual taste itself is a uncommon, unfamiliar taste. It is going to be something where you either kind of like it or you don't. In the same way that we talk about lots of old raw pu'er, it just has like a unique vegetable patch kind of flavor. You might really like that, in which case, great. That's an approachable flavor profile, but it's uncommon. Similar thing, I think, for this.
Makes sense. It makes sense.
And yeah, again, not bitter, but potent, just lasting. James, if you were going to be serving this to a friend and maybe a longer session, where would you kind of place this in the progression?
Either in the middle or the end, I would say. Just because, yeah, it is quite strong. So you don't need to worry about it being overpowered as much. So it could be a nice sort of capper, and you might have to worry about this overpowering something else. Like if we had this before we had the Dayuling, then the Dayuling might be pretty bland in comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do one last one.
Sounds good. Yeah, I would say the exact same thing. This is gonna get this is really strong. You might have something really young to finish, something smoky, peaty, maybe a lap song even, just something that has a lot of boldness, really distinctive characteristics. This tea isn't necessarily subtle. It's hitting you in the face with the flavors, but it still has enough of a. The flavors themselves are light. I don't know how that makes sense, but it's a light flavor in its taste, but it is a large quantity of it.
Yeah, and I mean you can even tell from like the liqueur that it's not a super dark brew. It's not like we're getting like a deep red Wuyi brew. It's like it looks like this would rather be weak, but it's really not weak at all.
Yeah, and looking at the leaves now, you can see a lot more green. Mm-hmm. This is definitely something to be drinking early. It's interesting. You can see, some variety definitely in the oxidation between the leaves themselves. Some green, and some quite a bit more, kind of dark brown.
Yeah. One interesting thing about this tea too, it's 2021 harvest, so gives it a little more time for that roast to mellow out. And I think you can kind of tell the roast is not dominant in this, like it can be for some Wuyis.
Yeah.
I think that's mostly a good thing. I think waiting a year to drink the harvest is a good thing if you want to taste more of that base material for Wuyis.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Such a good aroma too.
I think this is the first tea where the intensity has mellowed just a bit, and so we're getting it tastes a little bit more just like a easy to drink thing now, and a little bit less sharp. A little bit more rounded, still quite tasty. I do really like the aftertaste that this leaves on the mouth, but
yeah, really. I wouldn't say necessarily easy to drink because it's so attention demanding. It's so alerting. But for me, I really like this profile a lot. This is like a really intense. This is the race car version of a Wuyi. Really good. If people want to go grab this, James, is that even doable? Is this something where people could reach out to?
I think you could actually have him ship it. So look up EnjoyTea. I mean, he left his email on this, so I guess I can shout it out. sales.enjoytea@gmail.com.
Yep.
You give him the old Google too. I'm sure you could find more information about it. Really nice guy. So I was recommended to go to a shop and check out some of his Wuyi Oolongs, and this is what I ended up with. So
totally, yeah, and I would recommend this. I mean, again, this is a Wuyi lover's Wuyi for me. Really great. Shout out to my friend Sam. I think he would just like adore this tea. And so, yeah, really, really nice. Very intense. I don't know if this would be a good ultralight backpacking tea.
No,
honestly,
nor a mom test. I don't think.
Yeah. You really want. I think how you brewed it was actually great. Lots of leaf because it's not bitter, right? So you want lots of intensity, lots of leaf, but super short steep times.
Yeah. So, but if you want to experience the rock taste, if you are not a believer in the rock taste, then try this tea.
Yeah.
And this tea will kind of has it in spades, as you put it.
So. Subscribe or not or whatever, all the stuff you're supposed to do, marketing stuff. You've heard it all. If you want to subscribe, honestly, whatever, man. You could even not subscribe. You could just have us be auto-recommended, and that would be great, too. Give Google a hug. Give your gerbil a hug. Was that who's?
Yeah.
Hamster? I don't remember.
We love them all.
All rodents can apply to be a premium member of the TDB Rodent Club. We're launching it next week.
Yeah.
It's really going to be a big
Our
deal. Our
meetings are right after the Rock Lickers Club, so if you're into rock licking and rodents.
Come on in.
Yeah.
Come on down.
Yeah, you rock licking rodents.
Okay. So with that, this has been another brilliant, inspiring episode of TV. Subscribe if you want, and we'll see you guys next week.
Adios.
Rock licking.